Welcome to the 34th episode of Cartoon Fight Club. As usual, if you're new to this series, be sure to check out one of my other videos. But if you know how the game is played, then let's get ready for the fight. For tonight's battle, we have the Fairy of the Dragon Flame, Princess Bloom, going up against Sailor Mars. With that being said, let's introduce Cartoon Fight Club's 34th round of fighters. Let's start things off with Sailor Mars. Sailor Mars is one of the 5 original Inner Sailor Scouts of the Solar System, and was the 4th Sailor Scout introduced in the manga. Her civilian identity is known as Rei Hino. Her attacks are mainly based around fire, psychic powers, and spiritual power. Rei is a Sailor Senshi, aka a Sailor Scout. Each Scout has a transformation sequence which grants her a uniform in her own theme colors and her own kind of elemental power. These powers come from an object called Sailor Crystal, said to be within each of them. They were all associated with a specific planet or heavenly body, and their powers often manifested themselves as the ability to manipulate particular elements. Their association with their celestial body was generally manifested in the form of a planetary symbol, which appeared on their foreheads at certain points, or appeared as a motif in their costumes or items. Mars' power and makeup is the first command used by Rei to transform into Sailor Mars, in the manga and the anime. As Sailor Mars, she can perform many fire-based attacks. One of her most notorious attacks is known as the Mars Flame Sniper. Sailor Mars uses a Mars arrow to fire a flaming arrow at her enemies. She gained this powerful ability after transforming into her Super Sailor form with the Mars Crystal. Mars is an extraordinary fighter, but she usually fights with other scouts by her side. Though she has been successful during a few one-on-one situations, almost all of her combat experience was formed through teamwork. This will have an effect on Mars during the fight specifically because she will be all alone in this match. She is also really young and still in school. Sailor Mars does have plenty of raw power, and with scouts by her side, she can perform plenty of powerful team attacks, but being alone does limit her arsenal and maximum power potential. Overall, Sailor Mars has plenty of fiery attacks and hand-to-hand combat skills. She works great in teams, but is also really young and naive. Moving on, let's introduce Princess Bloom. Princess Bloom is the Princess of Domino and one of the founding members of the Winx Club, and is also the leader of the Winx Club. She is also a former student of Alfea College of the Fairies. Bloom is the guardian fairy of Domino and keeper of the Dragon Flame. She was the first character to be introduced to the series. Bloom started off as an insecure girl in the beginning of the story, mainly due to her ignorance of her true origins and her strange yet surprisingly potent powers. Later on, she learned more about magic and herself. She grew increasingly curious about her past and whom her biological parents were. Bloom is the Fairy of the Dragon's Flame, so as you can guess, her powers are based on magical fire attacks. These attacks can manifest in the form of fire dragons, fireballs, fire beams, firestorms, and explosions at varying intensities. They are usually offensive with the rare occurrence of defensive abilities such as fire shields, firewalls, and fire barriers of different shapes and forms. Bloom also knows some basic spells that all fairies can use, such as telekinesis, shape-shifting, and teleportation. Keep in mind that these spells are only at the basic level, and aren't really meant for combat. The intensity and strength of Bloom's magic is proportional to her emotional state. Her powers are at their strongest when she gets angrier, as shown in A Magic Christmas, where she summoned the fire dragon after Trix ruined Christmas. In most intense situations, she can unleash a huge burst of energy that can even de-transform her allies and herself and break advanced machinery. Bloom can also fly, which will give her a huge maneuverability advantage. The downside, or maybe even upside, to Bloom's firepower and strength is mainly based on emotion. This means that she can mainly only get stronger if she gets angrier, and if she builds up too much power, she can de-transform back to her normal state. When it comes to experience, Bloom has finished all of her training and schooling, and she is the leader of the Winx Club. Although she is a great leader, all of her leading and training is based off of teamwork. This does mean that during a one-on-one situation, Bloom will be a little off edge. Overall, Bloom is a great leader and has many fire-based attacks based on the Dragon's Flame, but the strength of these attacks have direct relation with her emotions. And now, let's get ready for the fight. This battle is going to take place on Earth, and there is no prep time. Let the battle begin!
Hold on, I thought you were all about fashion rules. You're the one who's like, when you wear a short skirt, you should really mess up your hair. It's Tuesday, you're not allowed to wear blue today. And then there's your hair. It can't be longer than mine. Give her a haircut. Have you been degermed? I should hurt you for ruining my round color scheme. Hand it over. The kimono you're wearing in this picture makes your butt look fat. Mars power!
Fire! 3, 2, 1, go!
Fire magic! Dragon Blood! Blue, Fairy of the Dragon Flame!
That was intense. And Bloom could have won, but then she took an arrow to the knee. Am I too late to make that joke? Is it too old? Moving on, let's explain why Sailor Mars beats Bloom in a fight like this. No need to beat around the bush, let's just cut right through it. Sailor Mars is hotter than Bloom. Now wait, before you get the wrong picture, I mean she literally is hotter as in fire temperature and fire capability than anything Bloom can do. It's simple science, people. Just take a look at some of these examples. When Bloom and Mars face metal-based objects and enemies, you can easily see that Sailor Mars has much quicker and more powerful fire attacks that melts right through the metal compared to Bloom. At Sailor Mars' strongest, she can be considered city-busting, something that Bloom can't even compare with. The only edge that Bloom might have is a slight skill advantage being older and more well-trained, but when it comes to raw power and damage capabilities, Sailor Mars is shown to have the clear advantage. The best case for Bloom winning would probably be through her dark form, but that needs outside help, something that wouldn't be possible in a one-on-one fight. Speaking of outside help, if you want to see a total war between the Sailor Scouts and the Winx Club, you know what to do. Comment down below the word Total War, and if this episode gets 2,000 Total War comments, there will be a Total War between the members of the Winx Club versus the Sailor Scouts. Also, don't forget to comment down your ideas for future Cartoon Fight Club episodes. They may even become a future episode of Cartoon Fight Club. Stay tuned, because the next fighters are going to be revealed on the next episode of Cartoon Fight Club.
I'm bad, and that's good. I will never be good, and that's not bad. There's no one I'd rather be than me.